Hi, this is video 5 on a series of fictional characters as they show up in dreams and active imagination. And so in this 5th video, I wanted to give you an example or two of how to work with these characters and the fact that they actually represent more than just different parts of our present self, which is the usual way to interpret dream characters. So, this shadowy figure shows up in your dreams, and maybe that's the underside of your personality. Maybe that's a part of you that needs more exercise or something that you're repressing. That's kind of a standard explanation of dream characters. And it's fine as far as it goes. But one of the things I want to emphasize here is that oftentimes these fictional dream characters carry something that you have yet to become. So they don't so much symbolize a part of you as they do point in the direction of something that you need to actualize in your life, that you need to actually move into. So a number of times in my life, I've had dreams where, and I've known other people who have this going on too, where a fictional character shows up from a movie, from a novel, wherever they come from, a mythological character. We can consider all that fictional too. And the character shows up, and when you try to interpret the character as this is part of the dreamer, you only get so far with it. So a couple of examples. I've mentioned James Kirk a couple of times, so I guess I'll retire him after this next mention. But poor Kirk, he never does get to retire. It's part of the tragedy of the hero, really, as he lives it out. He never retires. He dies on mission. So in any case, with Kirk, when I would dream about him, which I kept doing pretty regularly until college, along with a number of other fictional characters in my dreams, I eventually became aware that there were things about him that he brought me that I was not living. And so one of the things about Kirk is he's very extroverted. Jungian psychologists and analysts and practitioners have often said that Kirk is an extroverted, intuitive type. He has brilliant intuitions, of course. That's how he gets out of scrapes time and again. And he's an extrovert. So I didn't know it yet, but as an introvert, I was going to move into a very extroverted phase of my professional life around the time of grad school. First master's and then the PhD level. And I was going to have to step up to that. And I'm glad I did, because otherwise I would have just written a couple of books and, disappeared somewhere. Introverts have a million reasons for not showing up, but I've done it so many times now that had to be extroverted and get out and meet people and do presentations and things like this that I'm used to it, and it feels good. I like doing it. I'm enjoying this. So Kirk, for me, and as a dream figure, was carrying some extroversion that I had not yet made part of my personality. So that's what I mean. That's one example of how these fictional dream characters can bless you in a way with pieces of yourself that you need that aren't in your life when they show up. So other examples, there were teaching figures and authority figures who showed up before I ever became an administrator, even a decade before then. So I had a dream where Spock's father showed up at one point, Sarek, and did a mind meld with me, which was really trippy. I had that dream when, I was in my 30s, and if you know anything about him, he's an ambassador, he's a mentor, he's a number of other things. And again, he was carrying things that I needed to step up to that I hadn't yet. So I could go on all day giving examples of this, but what I recommend instead is that you look at the fictional characters in your dreams and ask yourself a couple of questions. One of them is, of course, what present time qualities of you do they symbolically represent that you need to be aware of? But to me, an even more important question is, what are the future potentials, the abilities, the ways of being in the world that they're actually there to make you aware of so that you can step more fully into them? So more in our next video.